November 22nd, 11/22, 2020. It's Sunday. I have not been feeling my best for the last few days. I've just been really exhausted. And also the lymph nodes under my chin and in my throat are really swollen and painful. And that's it, really. So it's as if I'm fighting something, but I don't know what that is until recently. So I'm going to share with you a channeling that I did just today, and the messages that have come through, and also what this can mean for you if you're experiencing sadness, depression, just tension, like everything is harder. You know, something comes up and gets in your way. The things that you're trying to do, for some reason, they don't come to fruition. And there's just always something that it just makes it harder. This past week, it just seems like everything has been harder to get done. And that's because we're going through this shift. A few weeks ago, I did an update called It's Time. You should go watch that if you haven't. So, this is it. For the last week, it's just been really draining on my energy, really tiring, really just me, and I'm assuming many others, having to face the facts that it's like me trying to figure out how to correlate the physical realm with the spiritual. How can I make the most positive change on humanity when I'm also stuck in this 3D game, right? Which I'm not. But see, this was like a part of the story that I felt so strongly identified with, of having to let go of the old patterns and beliefs and things, which I thought I had already done. And you know, that's part of the work of ascension, right? Is that we're always going through it. So even when you feel like you're done with a certain aspect or stage, then it comes up again in another way, or down the line it may come through it in another way. You know, and it just comes up again and again to deal with. So if you've been feeling weak, exhausted, any kind of bodily aches and pains for nothing, like there's really no explanation to that, listen to your body. You need to rest, okay? But this is the shift that we've been wanting. It's happening now. So the shift in consciousness, if you haven't felt it yet, I mean, you may not realize it, you know, but it may be just affecting your body. You may be wanting different kinds of foods. You may be needing to rest. I rarely ever nap, and I slept like 3 hours yesterday, nap. And like I said, I have all these lymph nodes. It's what it really is a call to detox, okay? This is a big shift that we're going through. So we need to detox our bodies, but also the patterns that we've accepted, the identifications that we have as we progress to higher consciousness. We have to let go of those old things. And this is the shift, like this is the literal shift from 3D to higher, because all of that doesn't work now, and it's been gotten rid of. Okay, so spirit, creator is sending a huge amount of light on the planet, and it's going to continue to grow. I think this is why I'm experiencing this sort of detox with my lymph nodes and things. My body, of course, probably needs a detox. I'm probably going to start a water fast here soon, maybe tonight or tomorrow. But the need for sleep, all of this is based on the fact that we draw energy from the collective, okay? And because the collective is all shifting right now, huge shift, all of us, okay? And it may be gradual, like a few groups at once, like not everyone at the same time, but like me and a few other people online that do the same sort of thing, I realize experience things around the same time as I do. And then there's other groups that will come out with things later or come out with things beforehand. So we all experience things on different, it's like in different waves, okay? So there's some of us who are together in a soul tribe that will experience it, and then we tell people, and then a week later they might say, yeah, I'm experiencing that now too. So I tend to experience things a little bit earlier than a lot of people, like 3 to 5 days before the rest of the collective. And I'm sure there's others who experience this even before me. So I want to tell you now, in case this happens to you, if you're going through ascension, spiritual awakening, this whole journey that a lot of us are on right now, if you need to rest, it's probably because you've been pulling energy from the collective for a very long time, not realizing, because unconsciously you've been pulling that energy, especially empaths, not realizing where it's coming from. Okay, if it's coming from the collective and we're all shifting now into higher dimensions, all of those ways that we could have possibly been getting energy, all of those old patterns and belief systems and all of that structure that had been in place prior is gone. Okay, and we still see bits and pieces of it, and we still will, and we're going to be forced to let that stuff go. But this is about how you used to get energy, you might not be able to get anymore. And if you feel like you're a light worker, if you identify as that, and you're feeling tired or exhausted, or your body is aching or hurting, I think that's pretty much a clue that you've been getting any energy from an outside source, the collective, other old patterns, belief systems, other ways of doing things that gave you energy that's no longer available. Okay, so we have to go deeper, we have to go within, we have to get our energy from within, from cosmic energy and light and meditation, that sort of thing. You can do meditations where you ask for the light to come in through your crown, and you watch it go through in your mind, of course, visualizing it. Feel your body, the light, up and down like a battery, like womp, 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 you know, like until you're all the way full, way up through your crown. And that's one way that you feel kind of recharged when you're feeling low. But like I said, I've been resting for the last few days, and I'm starting to feel better, but my lymph nodes are the same. Swollen and painful, and that's it. Like, I don't have a fever, I don't have a runny nose, I have 0 other symptoms. So I know my body is trying to pull out toxins or something. Okay, and you know, a lot of emotions are held in the body too. So I think stress as well does that. And like I said, this whole last week has been really hard for me. I know it's probably been hard for others. It's like 2 worlds colliding. It's like really being in between of what was and where we're headed. And there's just this feeling of unknowing. So I'm going to read to you this channeling, and then I'll let you go with that. So I'm just going to read the whole thing. If I feel a need to explain something, then I'll stop, okay? So, big shift in consciousness. The rug pulled from underneath you. Okay, you may feel like that physically. You may feel like that spiritually, emotionally. It's just a feeling of like the way things used to work don't work now. Or the way you used to get things done, it's just like those things aren't available. And this is energetically, okay? And then we see it played out in the physical and through our bodies and through how we manifest. Okay, your way of life dismantled. Being forced to recognize the unconscious patterning that you've accepted, which has limited you. Up until this point, you were at odds between your natural state of being, like as a spiritual divine being, and that which you've adopted as your own, that which isn't real. Okay, so this is part of the illusion of 3D, the misperceptions taking things on as our own and identifying that with how things work, with how this realm works. Well, that's just the way it is, and we have to do these certain things to make money, or just the limitations that we've adopted as human beings over the last however many hundreds or thousands of years. That can't go with us now moving forward. So we're being forced to recognize those patterns, and we're gonna have to not just let them go. I mean, they're just going. We have to recognize that that was a pattern that wasn't real, and then find the best way to replace that with a higher consciousness ideal, or just truth, you know, accepting the truth that is, and not trying to hold on to these old ways that we used to identify who we were, the way things work, how things have to happen, energetically, how things have to happen, what is, just like scientifically, many things about energy people don't recognize as truth. Like, energy is everything. We know that it's transferable. We know that it can never cease to exist, right? It just is one thing and then it becomes another. Like, it's still there, right? So we're constantly taking in energy and pushing it off on others, and bringing in their energy and pushing it off. You know, everything we're feeling, we put it out there and we bring it back in. The way that we create life, the way that we create money, the way that we have families and vacation and the things that are important, and all this superficiality, it's like all that is being put to an end. We have to really recognize now what we need, what is truth moving forward for us as a people and as individuals. The things you identify with, the truth is within you. And now that these patterns are being recognized, they are leaving you. Some are feeling helpless, sick, empty, sad, not knowing why. I'm gonna call this shift sickness, I think, because this may be recognized as just another phase of ascension, but this is according to this main consciousness shift right now that we're in. But in actuality, this is a very positive change. The shift you've all been waiting to see is now. You are in the middle of it. The tough times, struggles, pain, sadness, loneliness, confusion, and unease about where your future is headed. This is all about to change over the coming months as you're pushed out through the other side to what you cannot yet see. But you're getting there. You make it. Shifting has been affecting your sleep, bodies, thought processes. You may have a deep longing to just let go of everything, and you can. Okay, I think when they said everything, they were really talking about just all the old things that we identify with. Like I mentioned, the way we work, the way we just function on a day-to-day basis, the systems, how we make money, our food, everything. The patterns, the identifications with false stories, the cycles perpetuated by the mind. The choice will be yours. What you do now, as it gets harder and harder to stay in the old mindsets. So this is how, like, we're being forced to really recognize the patterns, or it's just gonna be gone. So those old ways you used to receive energy, and those old ways you used to function, it's just not going to be available to you. And I think that's why, at least in my case, I'm seeing this, and I know many others are as well, seeing the struggles this week with how difficult things feel, because the way things used to function is just like, it's like if you're running a computer system in this simulation, and you deprogram or you know, uninstall 5 programs that you've used for years and years and years, you have to find something that replaces those programs in order to function like you used to, right? So we're having to go within, restructure the way that we function. And this is all happening right now. So if you've been a part of the spiritual awakening community, this ascension group, this is the shift we've been wanting. It's now, it's starting now, and it's progressing. Creator is just sending so much light, just infinite, delicious, full of love, and just cosmic upgrade, just like the DNA. I can just feel it expanding. And because these functions or programs or whatever you want to call them, these old patterns have been removed, now it's up to us to get back to the basics, to get back to the spiritual aspects of who we are, and not focus merely on the vessel of the body, but really try to see from a higher perspective. When something isn't going your way, really just kind of pull yourself out of your body and see from the higher oversoul aspect of like your higher self, your oversoul, that whole monad group. You know, just to look down at your body. It's just a body. It's like just a little baby part of you is actually here right now in the physical, and we chose to do this, and this is going to be hard. I mean, my body is like, this weekend's been like, you need to rest. And I really don't even have any symptoms. So I just really feel like this is a restructuring of the DNA, and it's an upgrade, it's an up-leveling, but it's something we also have to do. I mean, we have to work on this. We have to find new ways to find energy in order to function. And this will in turn create better manifestations, stronger, faster manifestations, which as we all do this individually, we're moving collectively towards this new space together. You know, so individually we may feel like we're the only ones going through it, and that's just not true. It's just that we're having to do it internally right now. So many others may not be speaking about it, but when the time comes for us all to move together, we'll be ready. Okay. The old paradigm is crumbling before your eyes, although many have not noticed that yet. Everyone is experiencing this individually, and so many feel alone in this. Remind them we're in this together, and we will continue to see on a larger scale how these changes affect everyone as they play out through the collective, as each one of you come to terms with your new state of being. The earth thanks you, we thank you, and are here with you as we are adjusting and helping others energetically align now from the higher realms. Okay, this change was deemed mandatory. So, Creator, all the higher dimensional beings, everyone who's been helping us through this, they somehow decided, or we decided as our higher self decided, this was the best way to do it. Okay, and so this is how we're moving now. It was deemed mandatory and necessary, and is supported by the Creator's light sent upon your planet now, and more in the coming days. Adjust accordingly. Sometimes they speak really like a computer. Like really short, and I just have to kind of fill in the blanks. More in the coming days. Adjust accordingly. Functions. So, like I was saying earlier, this can mean bodily functions, how you sleep, just the way that you think, how you manifest, how you draw things to you, the way that you're used to being. You may find it, some may find it easier now. And then others who may have been holding on to other patterns, even unknowingly, may find it more difficult. But, you know, it's part of this process, and we're having to do it together, even though it doesn't feel like it's together. It feels like it's internal, it feels lonely. Okay, functions changing, body changes. As you watch the crumbling around you, feel the knowing that all is well and you are doing the work daily. Okay, so even when we're feeling like we're not doing the work, even when we're feeling like we just can't cope today, there's just too much stress, they want you to be reminded that you're doing the work, okay? And your soul knows, and you're always where you're supposed to be. And right now we're just moving through this together. So remember that there's many of us. So they want to remind us now that all is well. And just to keep that knowing. Just to keep that knowing that all is well and that we're right where we're supposed to be always. And when it feels difficult and hard, like we're struggling, that tension is growth, you know. It pushes us forward, and we're creating this new space together. We're creating this up-leveling of consciousness for humanity together. And it's really a big deal. We're in the middle of it right now. So all this we've been waiting for is here now. We're in it, okay? And we have to experience it. We have to live this out. We have to play this out. So even though it's difficult, even though we may face times of struggle, it's very important that we stay grounded, listening to our bodies, as these are our vessels for now. You know, this is just temporary, but it's so huge. It's so huge what we're doing. This is just a massive up-leveling for all of humanity. And we came to do it, and we wanted to do it. So even if you don't remember all that, you wanted to do it. And we're getting there. And pretty soon we're going to turn around and look back and say, wow, look at how far we've come. Look at how much change we've made. So stay positive. Cry if you need to cry. And accept that things are difficult at times, and it's okay to release that and talk about it. And just nap, rest, sleep as much as you can if you need to, okay? Drink tons of water, distilled water. And just eat right, okay? And they just closed with, we love you and all is one. And I've never heard them kind of sign off that way, but I really like it. All is one. Because it kind of seems like all is well, but all is one. All is one, and all is well. That's it for this energy update. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.